Thank you guys for tuning in the channel today. We're going to be building bag K of the Tekno SCT410 2.0. I don't have my motor and ESC yet. They are in the mail. But I did go ahead and borrow this servo out of one of my other vehicles. I've been running this servo in my 8-scale buggy and in my old SCT410.3. And I really like this servo. Wanted to keep using it. It is the Expert. This is a brushless waterproof servo. It's the WR7701. It's not the fastest servo, but I think it's plenty fast enough. But yeah, let's dig right in. I'm going to go ahead and assemble this piece. Goes into the motor mount like so. You should have a single screw that's kind of the longest screw like this. It's going to thread into that hole, into that plastic piece right there. And then these holes will face down and they will go into our chassis like so when we're ready. Next, let's go ahead and install our servo onto this plastic piece here. My servo was hitting the bottom right here a little bit, so I kind of cut this little plastic piece out and it should fit just fine now. Might have could have used some washers or something there, but I think this will work out just fine. I'm going to thread my wire down through there. As you can see, this servo fits well. Like I said, it was rubbing right there a little bit, but I kind of cut that piece out. Should be just fine. Go ahead and set that down. We'll get our screws ready. Be using these 4 socket cap screws here, and they will get a washer on top. And I may start them into the plastic piece and then use my electric screwdriver to finish the job. Go ahead and get our next screw started using a washer. Get our next screw started using a washer. Next screw and a washer. I'm going to finish driving those in with my electric screwdriver here. Maybe finish tightening these up by hand. Feels really good. Like this design a whole lot better than the 410.3. Seemed like the 410.3 had like these 3 different pieces that had to go together for the servo mount. So definitely like this design here. Set that to the side. This servo wire is going to get threaded through this hole here. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Might be difficult to do that after this is installed. Wanted to definitely go ahead and put the servo in so I didn't have to pull anything apart. I think the motor mount and all that, that'll be easy enough to pull apart once I get my motor and ESC in the mail. Go ahead and get this installed on that piece right there. It's looking like I'm going to get these 3 screws here and then maybe one of these screws here, one of the shorter ones as well. So these 3 and then your shorter one. And we will start may just go ahead and install this one first. Another long screw goes in there. I'm just kind of barely starting these to make sure everything gets aligned up good before I tighten them all the way down. This is our shorter screw. It will go in this hole right here. Because that is a shorter piece of plastic there. Snug these up by hand. Feels pretty good. This is going to get 4 more screws. It's going to get one there, 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 and there. And you want to be sure and Loctite those because those are actually threading into the chassis itself. Should be these 4 shorter button heads like so. Since these are short and threading into the chassis there, probably just going to use or try to do this by hand. Get our Loctite out. Turn my chassis sideways here. You guys can see. Got my Loctite. Feels good. Got our remaining screw here. A little bit of Loctite. Had to push that plastic piece in a little bit to tighten it up. Might be easier if you don't tighten them all the way until you get them all installed. But as you can see, they kind of going flush there. Looks good. Next, we got our pretty much our motor plate, which should go here, I think. And I will not be using Loctite, but because I don't have my motor yet. But you definitely want to use Loctite going through the chassis and those holes if you're going ahead and installing your motor, which I'm not right now. Probably not going to get that super tight because those will have to come back out when my motor gets here. And kind of the same thing. They normally will thread into this plastic piece here. We'll have to unscrew these if I want to put my motor on the motor mount. You can probably install the motor without taking it off, but probably a little bit easier just to take the motor plate off. Only 5 screws, not too big of a deal. Like so. The only thing left, these 2 screws right here will go in your motor. These 4 screws here, and they will go in your ESC plate. The ESC plate will go like so. And we'll turn this upside down and try to get those installed. One more to go. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Bag K of the Tekno SCT410 2.0. Getting closer and closer each day. Thank you guys for watching.